really mean to talk to a woman and control her mind. Not like a desperate, nice guy, not like someone begging for attention, but like a strategist, a man who knows exactly what to say and why he says it. Most men fail because they talk from need. They want attention, they want approval, they want to be liked, and without even knowing it, they put themselves beneath her. Then they ask, why does no one take me seriously? Today, you are going to stop that weak game. You are going to kill the habit of begging and start talking from power, not need. Because talking to a woman and truly dominating her mind is a dangerous art. And only the men who understand this become the man she cannot forget and cannot let go of. The difference was never your looks, your money, or your degree. The difference is this. Some men understand female psychology. The rest live confused, frustrated, and ignored. In the next few minutes, I'll give you the Machiavellian method to speak in a way that ignites her desire without you asking for anything, dominates her emotions without touching her, makes her see you not as a man to ignore, but as a man to obey and crave. If you go blank around women, if you feel like she's just waiting to leave when you talk, if you keep ending up in the friend zone, all of that is about to end. But first, like this video, because I'm about to give you secrets 99% of men are too scared to use. And if you stay until the end, I'll give you a lethal technique you can use tonight to trap a woman in your mental game. And she won't even know why. Why some men dominate and others get ignored. It's not looks, it's not luck, it's not money. It's this. The man who dominates a conversation is the man who doesn't need her approval. When you speak to a woman, you're not just exchanging words, you're exchanging power. In the first 5 seconds, she isn't listening to your words. She's reading your energy. If you're insecure, she feels it. If you're anxious, she sees it. If you're trying to impress, she knows it. And the moment she senses you're fighting for her attention, you've already lost. The man who holds power never begs to be liked. He doesn't try to be funny, he doesn't perform, and he doesn't seek her reaction. He simply speaks like a man whose truth is enough. And that is magnetic. Why most men kill desire? Most men destroy attraction before it even begins. Not because they are bad men, but because they talk from submission. Their words, their tone, their energy all scream the same thing. Please like me. Please find me interesting. Please don't reject me. Do you feel how weak that sounds? Every time a man speaks like this, he is begging for approval. He is asking for permission to exist in her world. And the truth is brutal. If you must convince a woman to see your value, you are already beneath her. And a man who is beneath her will never awaken her desire. Desire doesn't live in comfort. Women don't fall for men they can fully control. They may like a nice guy, they may appreciate his effort, they may thank him for his attention. But desire, the kind that keeps her thinking about you at night, does not come from comfort or sympathy. It comes from tension, from curiosity, from the feeling that she cannot fully predict you. Because a woman's ego is always scanning for one thing: can I control this man emotionally? If the answer is yes, desire dies instantly. The men who kill. Desire. Most men walk into an interaction already defeated. They overcompliment her before she's earned it. They agree with everything she says to avoid tension. They laugh at their own nervous jokes, hoping she will approve. And deep down, she feels it. He needs me more than I need him. The second she feels full control over your emotions, her attraction shuts off. Not because she is cruel, but because her instincts are wired this way. A woman cannot crave a man she fully understands. She cannot chase a man she already owns. The man who awakens. Desire. Desire comes alive when a woman meets a man who is different. A man who doesn't filter his words to please her, moves by his own logic, not her expectations. Isn't impressed by her beauty. This man does not need to be rude. He does not need to act arrogant. He simply exists in his own frame. He lives in a reality where her validation is optional, not required. And this kind of man, he feels like an anomaly in her world. Everyone else plays by the same script. They compliment, they chase, they perform. But he moves with calm self-possession, and it confuses her ego. And confusion is the seed of desire. Why anomalies are irresistible. Humans are wired to notice what breaks the pattern. Women are no different. A man who doesn't rush to fill silence. A man who isn't shaken by her tests. A man who seems present but never needy. That man lingers in her mind. Because he is not like the others. He is predictable to no one. He is the question she cannot answer. And in that question, desire is born. The mindset shift. Stop being the emotional servant. Most men never realize this. They talk to women like emotional servants, not like men who hold power. Every sentence, every text, every action silently says, "Please like me. Please notice me. Please give me attention." And the brutal truth? When you speak like a needy man, you behave like a child. And when you act like a child, she does not see a man. She sees a brother. She sees a friend. She sees a therapist. She sees an emotional teddy bear she can vent to, but never desire. Because desire doesn't live where comfort lives. If she can predict you, control you, or use you for emotional support, she will never crave you. What most men become without knowing. Most men fall into this trap. They listen to all her problems. They text paragraphs trying to fix her bad day. They chase validation by being overly kind and agreeable. And then they wonder, why does she never see me as more than a friend? The answer is simple. She doesn't desire what she owns. If you give yourself away emotionally, if you become her safe little comfort zone, she will appreciate you, but never chase you. The shift from servant to presence. If you want to dominate her mind, you must stop being the man who exists for her approval. You become powerful the moment. Her beauty doesn't intimidate you. Her indifference doesn't shake you. Her attention is not your reward. When her looks no longer make you nervous, you silently communicate, "I've seen beauty before. Show me more than that." When her coldness doesn't trigger panic, you signal, "Your emotions don't control my state. I lead myself." When her attention no longer feels like a prize, you radiate, "I am the prize. My world doesn't depend on you." This is the Machiavellian mindset in attraction. You are calm, detached, in control of yourself. What happens when you shift? The moment you stop acting like an emotional servant, something changes in her. The game flips. She starts wondering why she can't fully grab your attention. She starts testing you to see if you are real or pretending. She starts chasing your presence because it's no longer free. Suddenly, she works to keep your attention. She texts first. She tries to earn your validation instead of the other way around. This is the first true sign of dominance. When the energy flips, and she invests more than you do, you stop being her emotional comfort toy and become the thought she can't shake. The man who enters her mind and stays there long after the conversation ends. Because in her subconscious, she now knows, this is not a man I control. This is a man I want to understand. And that is where real desire begins. The secret. Speak to her ego, not her ears. Here's a truth most men will never understand. When you talk to a woman, you are not really talking to her. You are talking to her ego. Her ego is like a silent radar, scanning every move you make, every word you say, every emotion you leak. And that radar has one job: to detect weakness. What weakness looks like to her ego. Weakness isn't always obvious. It's not just stuttering or sweating, it's the energy behind your words, entering with fear, "I hope she likes me." Carrying doubt, "What if I'm not enough?" Showing anxiety, fidgeting, over-explaining, nervous laughter. The moment you enter with that energy, she feels it instantly, even if you hide it with a smile. And her subconscious mind quietly says, "Another one I can control, another man I don't need to chase." She doesn't have to insult you, she doesn't have to reject you out loud, she just mentally discards you. You become forgettable, just like 90% of men she meets. how true presence changes everything. But now, imagine the opposite. You walk in with calm, not tension. You speak with clarity, not over-explanation. You radiate inner dominance, not loud arrogance. And here's the secret. You do this even if you're not tall, rich, or movie star handsome. Why does this work? Because energy speaks louder than appearance. When your energy says, "I am enough, I don't need your validation," she feels something she can't explain. She feels tension. She feels curiosity. She feels drawn to you and confused by you. Why confusion creates desire? Women are not attracted to what they fully understand. They are attracted to what they can't fully control. If you don't flinch when she tests you, don't overreact to her mood swings, don't rush to fill silence with nervous words. She can't label you. You're not the nice guy. You're not the player. You're something in between, something she can't define. And that confusion, it feeds her ego in a way she secretly craves. Her ego whispers, "Why can't I figure him out? Why doesn't he react like the others? Why do I want his attention now?" And in that confusion, desire is born. The power of ego-level communication. When you speak to her ego, not her ears, you change the rules. She chases validation from you instead of the other way around. She invests energy trying to read you. She starts thinking about you when you're gone. Because her ego hates unsolved puzzles. Your words become secondary. Your energy, your calm, your control, that's what dominates the interaction. Because a man who doesn't need to be liked, a man who moves with his own rhythm, that man is rare. And rare is irresistible. When you master this, you'll notice something strange. You talk less, but she talks more. You explain less, but she invests more. You leave, but she keeps thinking about you. Because the man who speaks to her ego doesn't need to fight for attention. He becomes the attention. How to speak in the language of desire. Most men believe that speaking to a woman is about words, about saying the right thing, about having a good story, about giving her compliments. But that's not how desire works. Speaking to a woman is not just about what comes out of your mouth, it's about signals, it's about energy, it's about what you make her feel without ever saying it directly. The language. She feels, not hears. Machiavelli understood something brutal about power and attraction. The most powerful language is never direct. It is the language that forces the other person to interpret. Why is that important with women? Because what she has to interpret, she begins to desire. When she has to think, wonder, or imagine your intentions, her mind becomes involved. And once her mind is involved, her emotions follow. Why predictable words? Kill desire. If your speech is predictable and logical, she will get bored quickly. You're really pretty. She's heard it 1,000 times. I like you. Do you like me? No tension. All the cards are on the table. Explaining yourself, over-talking. She feels no challenge, no mystery. Most men do this because they are afraid of losing her attention. So they try to hold it with constant words. But desire doesn't live in logic. It lives in tension, mystery, and imagination. How mystery hooks. Her subconscious. If your energy is calm, mysterious, and controlled, she feels something she can't explain. You don't rush to fill the silence. You don't answer every question immediately. You speak slowly, like a man who owns the moment. That calmness makes her ego wake up. Her mind starts to whisper, "Why isn't he trying to impress me? What is he thinking? Why does it feel like he could walk away any time?" And that uncertainty is the seed of desire. The rule: tension over comfort. Here's the rule of the language of desire. Give her questions, not answers. Give her tension, not comfort. Why? Because men desire what they see, but women desire what they imagine. When you give her every answer, every compliment, every reassurance, her imagination shuts down. But when you give her a hint, a look, a half-finished sentence, her mind begins to fill in the gaps. and her own imagination becomes your greatest weapon. Imagination equals desire. If she's imagining you, she's already emotionally involved. If she's wondering about you, she's already invested. Because the moment she starts thinking about you when you're not around, you're no longer just a man in her world. You're a presence in her mind. And that is the language of desire. The technique to trap her mind. When it comes to attraction, most men believe words are everything. They focus on clever lines, jokes, or compliments, and they fail to see the truth. It's not the words that trap her mind. It's the way you deliver them, your tone, your rhythm, your silence. These are the weapons that Machiavellian men use to dominate a woman's mind. Why tone and rhythm matter more than words? Think about it. If you speak fast, fill every silence and rush to explain yourself, you send one message: nervous, weak, predictable. But when you speak slowly, like a man in control, and you pause, letting your words sink into her mind, you create a magnetic tension. And tension is the true language of desire. The step-by-step mind trap. Start with calm energy. Walk into the conversation without urgency. Let her feel that her reaction doesn't decide your mood. Speak slowly and with weight. Each word should feel like you chose it carefully. When you speak like this, she listens differently. She leans in. Use eye contact like a weapon. Look at her with focus, but not neediness. It should feel like you're reading her, not begging for her approval. Drop the line that traps her mind. Wait for the right moment, when the air is quiet and she's paying attention. Then say, in a calm and steady tone, "There's something about you that attracts me and unsettles me at the same time. I don't know if it's good or dangerous." Then stop. The power of silence. Here's where most men ruin it. They keep talking, they smile nervously, they explain themselves. You will not, do not explain, do not smile, do not break the tension. You let the silence do the work. Why? Because now her mind is working for you. Her ego, her curiosity, and her emotions are all activated at once. She will start asking herself, what does he see in me? Why does he feel that way? Why can't I stop thinking about this? The emotional hook. In that moment, you have done something most men never achieve. You gave approval by showing attraction. You gave a challenge by showing uncertainty. This combination is a psychological trap. It creates tension she cannot resolve, and the human brain hates open loops. Her thoughts will revisit you again and again, because the moment is unfinished. That's how obsession starts. Not with long conversations, not with compliments, but with controlled tension and strategic silence. The art of lingering in her mind. Most men believe attraction happens when you are in front of her. They think they must keep talking, keep texting, keep chasing to stay relevant. But the Machiavellian man knows the opposite is true. Real obsession grows in your absence. Step 1. Leave the conversation unfinished. When you deliver that emotional hook, like, "There's something about you that attracts me and unsettles me," you do not close the loop. Don't explain it. Don't double text her later. Don't post something to grab her attention. You leave her with questions, not answers. And a woman's mind cannot resist trying to finish a story she didn't get to close. Step 2. Control your absence. Here's the secret. Disappearing is a strategy, not an accident. You are not ignoring her out of anger. You are not ghosting her like a boy. You are creating psychological gravity. When you go silent after leaving an emotional mark, her thoughts start to pull you back in. She replays your words, your tone, your eyes, your silence. And with each replay, the memory becomes stronger than reality. Step 3. Let her imagination work for you. While you are absent, she will start to imagine versions of you. Why did he say that? Was he testing me? What does he see in me that no one else does? And here's the psychology. What a woman imagines, she begins to desire. Because imagination feels personal. She created it. It's hers. But you are the source. Step 4. Reappear with mystery, not explanation. When the moment is right, never too soon, you can reappear. But your return must feel calm, controlled, and unbothered. No apologies, no sorry for disappearing, no validation seeking. Instead, you drop a soft, mysterious spark like, heard a song, made me think of you. Had the strangest dream, not sure if I should tell you. You crossed my mind. It's dangerous when that happens. Short, ambiguous, powerful. Why this works? You are now living in her mind because you gave her a moment she can't explain. You left silence and absence to grow it. You reappeared without neediness, like you never left and her thoughts never stopped. Final words. You do not need to beg. You do not need to perform. You do not need to chase her with endless words or constant attention. Real influence happens in silence. Real attraction is built in the space between words. This is the lethal art of talking to women like a strategist, not a desperate man. It's the art of intrigue over explanation. You don't tell her everything. You let her wonder. Presence over words. Your energy says more than your sentences ever could. Tension over comfort. Comfort is forgettable. Tension is addictive. She will not remember every word you said. She will remember how you made her feel. If she felt curiosity, she will think about you. If she felt tension, she will replay the moment. If she felt a spark of danger or desire, you now live rent-free in her mind. When you speak in this way, you are not just talking to her. You are leaving echoes in her subconscious, echoes that grow louder in your absence. If you master this art, she won't just remember you for a conversation. She will feel you in the quiet moments when no one else is around. And that is real power. If you made it to the end of this video and you felt something shift inside you, type the word unstoppable in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Because it means you are done chasing approval and ready to speak to women with power and presence. And if you are ready for the next step, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what's coming next will make you unforgettable, without saying a single extra word.